Okay, guys, I'm back. So, like I said, I hollowed these out. Now, this one I left alone because I already hollowed it out a little bit. Now, I said that I put the rail in, pushed it down like this. It's exactly where it wants to sit. Okay, so as you can see, I hollowed it out a little bit, so it needs to move a tiniest bit. I might hollow it out a little bit more. I'm not sure. I might try and put the bolt in there and see if it'll be fine. But as you can see, this is just what it's like when it's just sitting in there. It's not pressing against anything. There's no bolts in it. Nothing's hitting anything. So that's the space that there is now. So hopefully this will fix the issue. But we will find out if it does. Hopefully it does. Because I really like this car. I want to drive this car. As you've seen in the previous video of a little bit of idling and revving, that has the whole list of mods in this for this vehicle. So I'm going to try and get this on. I'm sorry I'm not filming the entire thing, but I don't have a tripod or anything. I'm just filming with my fucking phone. So just putting some videos out there because everyone, well, not everyone, but a couple people want to see it. Some guy was actually asking in the video where I showed the idle, he's like, man, what's it like to drive a Cobra with a Pro Charger versus a normal one? To be honest, I don't fucking know. And the reason why I don't know is because when I bought this thing, it had that on it already. But it was a stock motor. So, like really, above like 3,500 is when you start actually seeing boost, at least with one of these. This is just like the P1SC like one. It's not the other one that normally runs like 8 pounds. This one actually runs, I think that's like a 3.9 or 4.0 pulley. But the reason why mine actually runs a little bit more is because when I actually sent this back I sent this to Pro Charger so it could be serviced. So it's been serviced before while I was building the motor. The tech offered me an upgraded impeller. And he said because when they first were designing these kits, they cut down the impeller. That way it wouldn't push as much air because they wanted this kit for people with stock motors to be able to bolt on, have some extra fun, and have some extra power. So I have an upgraded impeller. I'll have to show you guys that I actually revved this thing out to about $7,000, and I saw 160 kPa, which is about 8.7 pounds of boost, so like rounded up, 9 pounds of boost. It's supposed to be like 6, but that's what it was with the cut down impeller. But now with this impeller, it's about 8.79 pounds. So I'll have to show that in one of the logs I have from my Haltech Elite. But anyway, in terms of what it's like to drive this thing, honestly, below like, I want to say like $3,000, 3,500, pretty much the same as the stock one. Nothing really different. And then above that, there's just more power. So instead of your curve going like this, and then, tapering off the end, it goes up, and then up more. And then it sort of tapers off when you kind of get above 6,500. People are wondering, what's this make? Fuck if I know. I haven't been on the dyno yet because I don't want to bring it to the dyno and have this fucking problem and piss fuel everywhere and, have this thing catch fire. So that's why, it's taking so long to get this thing to the dyno, even though it's been done for like so long. So yeah, I hope to give you guys numbers eventually so you guys can sort of, see, what's this make? What am I going to expect with like roughly the same mods? Because like there's nothing really special done to the engine. Like I said, it is a built motor, but forged pistons, forged rods. Like I said, previous video has every single mod done to this car. And anytime I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I actually did that. I went and I updated it in the description. So yeah, it's like forged piston rods, Manleys. They're H-beam rods, so they're nothing super special. Manley valve springs. Head studs, which weren't even fucking needed. You can run normal head bolts and it'll hold this together for the power that it's going to make. Unopened terminators make like 600-700 wheel with a completely stock long block. So yeah, they're not really needed, but I did it anyway because I'm fucking retarded. But yeah, I got a new timing kit for it, new gaskets all around. So yeah. Timing cover, looks real nice. It's painted. Mine, one of the triggers was actually broken off the crank one. The crank sensor was actually like brittle and snapped when I was pulling it apart. So I got a new one in it, had a new one in it. So I put that all in and now it's got no fucking issue. But yeah, and I know this looks like a mess right now because I'm busy working on it. So yeah, Maximum Motorsports caster camber plates. These are KYB shocks. They're adjustable ones, the red ones that are adjustable. Yeah, it's got new control arms, blah, blah, blah. Not tubular control arms, just stock control arms, stock replacements. It does have tubular K-member UPR. I love it. Just because there's so much more room around the fucking engine. The nice thing is about the UPR K-members, you can touch the actual, it's hard to see, but you can touch the long tube headers. On the driver's side, you just undo that pinch bolt and pull the steering shaft out of the way. You can touch pretty much every single bolt on that end. This end's still a little bit harder. You got to pull the starter and stuff. And up in here, it's a little harder to get down there. But yeah, you can touch most of them with UPR K-member, which is nice. So if you ever have exhaust leaks, it's fucking easy to fix. But yeah, I'm rambling. Anyway, yeah, I hollowed the hole out right here. Hopefully, it'll fix my fucking issue. Like, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna actually, what I'll do is I'll get this together again. I'll post all these videos, sometime soon. And then I'll actually show you what I do to jump the Aeromotive fuel pump wiring kit. Like I said, I just jump it to show you that without the engine running and fuel pumping through here, it doesn't fucking leak. But as soon as I fucking start driving it, after like 5 minutes, it starts to leak out of there. Hopefully this fixes it. I'm thinking this is the problem, is that because this doesn't just naturally line up, I had to do like this to get to line up. It's pushing this injector and it's sitting sideways in the bore up in here. So it's leaking out on top of it. For some reason, the other ones don't have a fucking issue. When I did that, again, it was only this one. It was only the one over cylinder 4. So I don't know why 1, 2, and 3 didn't leak when I did that. Fucking mystery to me. People might say, well, I also made sure these bores were cleaned out where the fuel injectors sit. I made sure that where they sit in the intake manifold, it's all cleaned out. It's all cleaned out with compressed air. They weren't dirty anyway, because when I built this engine, I did clean some stuff up, and that was one thing I did clean because it's a little dirty. I know you see it's fucking dirty in there. I don't fucking care. Yeah, so hopefully this will fix my issue. Obviously, I'm gonna keep making some videos and seeing if it does. I know some of this stuff, that happens, just, you just have it happen. You guys know how it is when you're building cars, some shit like this happens, you have to just adapt. You have to modify things. You have to overcome, that's just how it is. Some people saying, well, why not go to the stock fuel rail? A simple answer to that is, I kind of broke it. You know how it has that Schrader valve? Yeah. Someone had, the previous owner had a fuel pressure sensor in it, and they tightened it to way too fucking tight, and it's a 1.8 MPT. It sits about right here. And it fucking, when I was loosening it, it fucking snapped off. So it just left a massive hole in there, and I was like, okay, great. Now I got to buy fucking rails. So that's what that is. So that's how that is. The other thing also is, well, why don't I get like a stock replacement? They're not made anymore. Why don't you buy one off eBay? Well, I could, but the thing is, the stock fuel rails have like a joiner back here, right? And it's not this stuff, but it's kind of like that. So the thing is that over time that sits back here, there's just so much heat and shit back here. It just gets fucking brittle, and it doesn't allow a lot of movement, and it cracks and shit. So I'm like, I've looked at a couple and they're like, oh man, they're fucking, all cracked and shit. So I'm like, I don't want to buy one and put one on here. So I was like, I'll just go aftermarket. Fuck it. Extra cost because I got to, run all this fucking lines and shit everywhere. But yeah, also people were wondering what size hose, -6 up and back. Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. But yeah, -6 up and back. The rails are -8. So I got adapters, -6, -8, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this has been going on for quite a while now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get to it before it gets later in the day, because I want to fucking sit down sometime too. All right, so I'll post this later. See you guys.